Estamos en Marangoni, París, y nos recibe Tommy, que es el director del Instituto Marangoni, París, y nos cuenta un poco más acerca de todo lo que es el instituto. Admito que fue un poco difícil hacerle la nota porque era muy cerrado, pero vean ustedes.
And the girls always call you back.
So we're here in Paris. I'm so excited to be here. I'm so thankful for having me. I want to know more about the Paris experience in Marangoni. What can you tell me about it?
Well, Paris, I mean, experience in Marangoni is, I think, pretty much the same in all the campuses, because there's certain values that we want to have, certain experience that the student needs to have, be it academically or also socially, etc., etc. So that is, I think, the same in all the campuses. Paris itself is a beautiful city, as I think you can say.
Oh, it's lovely.
It's a lovely city. It's an international city. It's in the middle of Europe, so you're pretty much very close to different other cities. It's 2.5 hours to London. It's 2 hours to Amsterdam, etc., etc. And the city itself is charged with culture, be it fashion, be it art, be it history, be it lots of different things. So you're inspired wherever you go.
Now just ended the fashion week in Paris, and did Marangoni did some presentation there, or had the students there?
We had certain students doing, or still doing, internships in showrooms during Fashion Week. But as we start in October, we usually use the Fashion Week in March, February, March, where it's actually mandatory for students to participate in the Fashion Week.
And what are the main courses here, the strength of Marangoni Paris?
So Marangoni Paris, we have 3 different axes. So fashion business, fashion styling, and fashion design, as in other campuses in Marangoni. And in those 3 different axes, we offer different courses. So we have master courses, which are validated at Manchester Metropolitan University. We have BA courses that are validated with MMU as well. We have 1-year courses, intensive 1-year courses, which are all 1 year. We have short courses, executive master courses. There's a lot of different courses that we offer.
And what are the most popular here? Like, what are the most wanted for?
Well, I think in a certain way it changes. For me, it's a year, but we're mostly a school which has students in the BA programs, so which are here with us for 3 years at least, 3 to 4 years. And usually the most students we have are between fashion design and fashion business.
And they come all over the world, and it has like this feeling of exchange of cultural also. And I want to know about that experience for the students in here.
I think the students, when they come here, when we see them the first time before they enroll, or when they enroll and they come here for the first day, they think, well, how do? I don't talk Spanish, I don't talk French, I don't talk English. But at the end, I think it's such an international cohort of people, be it tutor, be it students, that this kind of like goes away after 1-2 weeks, and they start to mix Spanish with French, with English, with Portuguese, and it's a very interesting kind of situation in a certain way, and also it opens the mind of a lot of people. So it's very interesting also for our tutors, and we hear that a lot, that tutors say it's very interesting to teach in Marangoni because you have a direct feedback of what happens in the world in a certain way, aesthetically, fashion wise, socially. You can put things into context, into different contexts in one lesson, which usually you have to do a lot of research, etc., etc. So that's very interesting and very important.
And at the end of the year, you have like this fashion presentation with students and collection with the one that are, the green. And what is like that experience for the students?
Well, I think there's 2 experiences to this, because it's we choose the 10 best students to do a fashion show in Paris. And of course, the 10 best we choose, they are on the one hand, they're very happy to be part of those 10 because they have an enormous window to what happens in the industry, to journalism, to articles, to editorials, etc., etc. On the other hand, it's a lot of pressure on their shoulders, which is a happy thing, but at a certain point can become very, 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 very hard. But that's how it is, and they need to be ready for what happens in the world, and this is just normal. But so I think it's very happy, but on the other hand, certain times I can assure that they're not so happy. They would never tell us, but I can assure that they sometimes...
I don't think they're very happy.
That is normal, it's normal.
So, tell me a little bit more about you. How did you started here in Marangoni? As a student?
Well, I started as a student, as a lot of tutors, program leaders and directors of education who work at Marangoni on different campuses. I was studying art in the 90s. Then I always wanted to go into fashion, so I moved to Milan. I was doing the Marangoni fashion design course for 4 years. Graduated in the early 2000s. Stayed in Milan for another 5-6 years while I was working as a menswear designer. And then I moved to Paris for a job. I became design director for a French luxury house. Was working there for 2 years, and then I started teaching after 2 years. Besides, I started freelancing, so I did freelance jobs as a designer, and I started teaching, and then I moved into a program leader position, and then from program leader I moved into becoming the director of education. So it's kind of a natural progression into education, which for me is very, very, very nice.
So where are you from originally? You have this accent, I cannot
Well, the accent is very complicated because I was born in Switzerland. I grew up in Switzerland, in central Switzerland, until I was 18. When I was 18, I moved to Zurich, where I did art school. Then I moved to London. Then from London I moved to Milan. I was 10 years in Milan, and now I'm in Paris since 10 years.
You have all the accents mixed up together.
Yes.
So Paris is like the fashion mecca of the world, and not only commercially but also like the feeling of the city itself. And how is Marangoni involved with that?
We're involved in different ways with it. Of course, our students are mandatory-wise working in different companies, in internships, during holidays, during fashion week, during their exams. We do a lot of industry projects, so instead of going for just theoretical research projects, we work with industry on a BA and on the MA level. So for each trimester we have, for each class, a collaboration with a brand in Paris. They come to the school, they present their problem, we develop something with the students and then present it back to the company. So there's multiple ways of how we function with the industry, with the city itself, and with what happens in fashion in Paris.